I used to think Sarah and I had the perfect relationship. We'd been together for 5 years, lived in a cozy little apartment, and we're even talking about getting a dog. Life felt like a movie, you know, the kind where everything just falls into place. But then, the script changed. It started small. Late nights at work became more frequent. Her phone, which used to be left lying around anywhere, was suddenly always face down or in her pocket. When I'd ask who she was texting, she'd just smile and say, "Oh, just work stuff." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But this little knot of doubt started to form in my stomach, and it just wouldn't go away. One evening, I came home early, hoping to surprise her with dinner. But she wasn't there. I called her, and she said she was stuck in a meeting that would run late. "Don't wait up for me, babe," she said. Her voice sounded distant. I hung up and sat there in the quiet apartment, the takeout food getting cold on the table. That's when I noticed her tablet on the coffee table. It was logged into her social media account. I know, I shouldn't have looked. It was a total invasion of privacy, but that knot in my stomach was screaming at me. So I opened it. And there it was. Messages between her and a guy from her office, Mark. They weren't just work stuff. They were planning a weekend trip, a romantic getaway. My world just shattered. All the trust, all the memories, it all felt like a lie. I didn't confront her. What was the point? She'd just deny it. Call me crassy and I'd be the bad guy for looking through her messages. No, if she was going to play a game, I decided I would too. But my game would have a much more satisfying ending. The anger and the hurt were like fuel. I spent the next few days in a daze, going through the motions, smiling when I needed to. But inside, I was meticulously crafting a plan. This wasn't just about revenge. It was about taking back my power, about making sure I wouldn't be left with nothing but a broken heart. The first step was to get my finances in order. We had a joint savings account, where most of my money went. We were saving for a house, or so I thought. I quietly opened a new bank account in my name only. Every payday, I started transferring most of my salary into my new account, leaving just enough in the joint one to cover my share of the bills and avoid suspicion. It was a slow and steady process, like moving chess pieces one by one. She was so wrapped up in her new little secret that she didn't notice a thing. She was too busy with her late nights at work and constant texting. Next, I started documenting everything, every message I could find, every lie she told me about where she was. I took screenshots, saved them to a secure cloud drive, and made backups. It felt cold and clinical, but it was necessary. I needed proof, not just for myself, but for what was coming. I was building a case, brick by brick, and she was obliviously handing me all the materials I needed. She even told me about her work conference coming up in a couple of weeks. The same weekend, she and Mark had planned their little trip. The audacity was just stunning. She looked me right in the eyes and lied. While she was busy planning her romantic escape, I was planning my own. I started packing my things, little by little. A box of books here, some old clothes there. I stored them at a friend's place. My friend, Jake, was a lifesaver. He let me vent for hours and told me he had my back, no matter what. Having that support made a huge difference. It reminded me that even though my world was falling apart, I wasn't completely alone. The apartment started to feel less like a home and more like a stage, and I was just an actor waiting for the final scene. The week before a conference, I put the final phase of my plan into action. I found a new apartment, a small one-bedroom place just for me. It was a fresh start. I signed the lease and paid the deposit with money from my secret account. The feeling of signing that paper was incredible. It was the first step towards my new life, a life without lies and betrayal. I spent the next few days moving my most important possessions while she was at work. It was a logistical challenge, but the adrenaline kept me going. I was like a ghost in my own home, slowly disappearing. The day finally came. The morning she was supposed to leave for her conference. She was all smiles, buzzing with excitement. She gave me a quick kiss goodbye, telling me she'd miss me. "Have a great time, babe," I said, my voice steady. "Work hard." The irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. As soon as her car pulled out of the driveway, I made my final move. Jake came over with his truck, and we moved the last of my things, my TV, my computer, my half of the furniture. We cleared out everything that was mine. But I didn't just leave. Oh no, that would have been too simple. I left her a little going away present on the coffee table, right where I'd found her tablet. I laid out printouts of her messages with Mark. I arranged them in a nice little pile. On top of the pile, I placed her house key, and on top of the key, I left a simple, one-sentence note. Enjoy your trip. I'm gone. Then, I took one last look around the empty apartment, a shell of what our life used to be, and walked out the door without looking back. I can only imagine the scene when she got home, tanned, relaxed, probably expecting a welcome-home hug. Instead, she'd find an apartment half empty, and a stack of papers detailing her betrayal. The silence in that empty space would be deafening. She tried to call me, of course. My phone blew up with calls and texts. First angry, then panicked, then pleading. I didn't answer a single one. I just blocked her number, and Mark's too for good measure. I had nothing left to say to her. My actions had spoken for me. The next few weeks were tough, I won't lie. There were moments of sadness and loneliness, but there was also an overwhelming sense of relief and freedom. I had taken control of a terrible situation and walked away with my dignity intact. I had my own place, my own money, and a future that was all mine to create. I didn't destroy her life. I didn't slash her tires or do anything crazy. I just removed myself from her life as cleanly and completely as possible. The best revenge isn't about hurting the other person. It's about building a better life for yourself and leaving them behind in the mess they created. And that's exactly what I did. One chose myself, and I've never regretted it for a second. Thanks for sticking with me through that story. It's a bit intense, I know. If you've ever been through something similar, remember you're not alone and your happiness is what matters most. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next one.